I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Courtside Soundoff podcast. Once again, it is a big week, obviously UFC 271 fight week. We got some UFC Vegas 47 to go over, as well as some boxing news, some MMA news. You guys know the deal. Before we get the show started, as always, go to rogueenergy.com. If you want 10% off your order, use the code SOUNDOFF at checkout. Let's go with SOUNDOFF at checkout for 10% off of all your energy needs. Obviously been a big sponsor of the show for a long time. Always love, give them some love. Feel free to go, guys. Get yourself something. Valentine's Day is coming up. You want to go ahead and get your boost something from there. Use code SOUNDOFF, 10% off. But as far as fighting goes, last Saturday night from the UFC Apex in Las Vegas, Nevada, UFC Vegas 47 main event, Sean Strickland continues his rise in the middleweight division, defeating Jack Hermanson via a terrible split decision, 49-46, 47-48 for Hermanson and 49-46 for Strickland once again. Sean Strickland's a guy who likes talking about how he wants to kill people inside of the cage. The only thing that he killed was my interest in the fight as it progressed. Angel, what was your thoughts Saturday night?
It was a bit lacking for me, man. He did heat up there at the very end, but it wasn't as exciting as I thought it was going to be. But I can't blame him, right? He was tight. He did what he had to do, but I did want a little bit more, man. But it just didn't keep me as engaged as I thought it would have. And I felt like I wanted more out of it. And I felt like his last fight against Uriah wasn't even the most exciting either, if I remember right.
Correct. It was not very great.
Yeah, so, I mean, hey man, he won. He doesn't give a fuck, you know what I mean? He made his money. So, it is what it is, man. I watched it. It's still fun. Lead up to it was still fun, and there's a lot of good things there. And he can fight again soon. He didn't seem like he had taken too much damage, so we might be seeing him soon again, depending on what happens this weekend. Which, I mean, we'll get into that in a bit. But there's not much to say, I mean, besides that Sal D'Amato was on all the Pambana, and that, we might not see him for a while.
But that's probably the worst scorecard of the year.
I don't think it's even close.
Yeah, actually, I forgot it's a new year. It's only February, but yeah, including 2021, probably the worst scorecard. Depending on when did RDA and Paul Felder fight? I think that was 2020.
That might have been 2020.
That was a split decision. So yeah, this is probably worse than that. I don't even. Finding Hermanson 2 rounds is a struggle, let alone 3. Yeah, man. Fight itself, he did what he had to do.
And that happens.
And that happens. He has a nice jab. He's still going to be a problem for some guys moving upward in the division, but I think we kind of saw his limit. And it's not a bad one to have, but being a top 5 guy is not a bad limit at all. But I feel like we really kind of saw over his last 2 main events what he has. He kind of lacks a lot of finishing power. He can manage a fight well. He absolutely can. He's good with his pressure. He can tire guys out, but he can take down defense as well. But I feel like once he starts getting into the upper echelon of these guys like Brunson, Cannoniere, Adesanya, Whitaker, I think that, he's going to hit a wall. And he's going to be fighting, I'm willing to bet, one of those 4 guys next. So we'll see what happens. Overall, at least he got the win. He continues moving upwards. Good for Sean Strickland. This card was interesting overall, but co-main events, we said it was a weird placement, ended up being the wrong placement. Nick Maximov defeating Panole Soriano via split decision 28-29, 30-27, 29-28. The Diaz army continues. Diaz army product continues. Gets another win inside the UFC. I know, Angel, I'm pretty sure you disagree with the decision. I'm pretty sure you stated that on Twitter. I could be mixing up the fight, but what do you think about the fight itself? What do you think about the decision?
I mean, I thought it was a fun fight. I thought the style matchup was interesting. I did not agree with the decision at all. I thought that Soriano was more active from below. He was doing more damage. He was just more active. And he wasn't just trying to stay on the ground, whereas I felt like Maximov was just trying to keep him down there and just kind of control. And I'm like, I do get that control is one of the criteria, but I know damage is above control.
Correct. That is how that works.
So I'm kind of like, I just felt like that shouldn't have warranted that decision. And I disagreed with it. I was very disappointed, but I'm like, hey, it is what it is. We're here now. I'm having a tough start to the year, Josh, with my picks, but it is what it is, you know. I've had some pretty out there ones, I don't think, but I've had some good picks. I think I've made some good picks too. The few I have, and obviously we're back on a pay-per-view, so it's showtime. I need to go hard.
It's showtime. Yeah, man. I thought the decision was bad. I thought it was. I picked Nick Maximov, but I didn't like that at all. I mean,
it's not the worst decision. Like, I
there's been more decisions
it,
for sure.
But I really felt like, no, you're right. But I really felt like, damn, like I'm almost like I don't agree with that. Like I don't feel like that was the right decision. Like we've had like even Brandon Moreno-Davidson, you know, it wasn't a bad decision, but I disagree with it at the time. But I was like, I completely get the other perspective, and I was like, I'll rewatch it. You know, this I don't even feel like going back and rewatching. I'm just like, I just didn't disagree with it. I just disagreed with it fully. Like I didn't find any sort of way where I'm like, I think it go the other way. I mean, I can, but it's just really like, but it's too much. I'm pulling too much. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that. I mean, personally, I thought it was a bad decision. I think that damage, I've always hated whenever guys would win based off of just control and doing nothing else, you know?
Josh, if this was Pride, no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, but at the same time, part of the reason why I'm not upset about the decision is because it's not like Soriano did he do more damage? Yes. Was he doing like an egregious amount to where, you know, I could see why you would give Maximov the round? Like, no, like it wasn't some egregious amount of damage that he was doing from his back or anything like that. So yeah, I mean, I disagree with the decision, but I'm not going to go ahead and lose my shit over it. But
yeah, he wasn't, you know, Tony Ferguson throwing elbows and shit. You know?
No, it was nothing like that. I mean, at the end of the day, it is what it is. I mean, moving on down the card, we really just have to move one down. For my money, this was by far the greatest performance of the card. So, Carlston Harris, your boy, you know, I think we kind of established it last week. Great guy. Very, very good, you know, coming off a great knockout win. He gets murked by Shavkat Ramonov.
Look, let's be, I told Nate, I'm like, it's not, I feel bad because I know what's going to happen. You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't surprised.
Yeah.
By the way, he's that other guy at this weight class, right? Like, it's him and Hosmont, right? It's not even close.
Oh, dude, they're gonna fight one day. I fully believe they're going to fight.
The three guys in this weight class right now are Hosmont, Sean Brady, and my boy
Nick Maximov.
Not it could be. You know, I won't disagree with it. I don't know. There's still time for growth, but for Shavkat, man, I mean those three guys. I mean, they're it for that weight class. I mean, the future of this weight class is in good hands.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Josh, that's 15 wins, 15 finishes. What the fuck? You know? It's scary.
Yeah, he's a monster, man. He really is. He's a complete fucking monster. And I think the fact, like, he's had some good wins before this, but dude, like, Carlston Harris is a bad man. I think he was probably one of the greatest guys in the division that was not ranked, and he ran through him. Okay, I don't know if he said it, but it was a spinning hook kick that knocked him out. Just brutal finish. So yeah, dude, I think we're going to see him and Hosmont square off. Like I said, the division in good hands. And the welterweight division has always been one, I think, it's been an older division for a long time now. Like there's some divisions that are like younger, some that are older, but I feel like welterweight, if you just look at it, dude, like who are the top guys in that division? You got Usman, Colby, Leon, Masvidal. These dudes have been around for like not a decade, but like half a decade. In Masvidal's case, a decade around that time.
These guys are in their mid-30s now.
Yeah, they're all getting up there in age. And dude, you got these monsters like Chimaev, Shavkat Ramonov, Sean Brady. These dudes are just coming up. They're gonna be a fucking problem, and I'd love to see it, dude. I love seeing that.
Shit gets you going, man.
It gets me going, dude. I love Shavkat Ramonov. Definitely. I'm not sure if he's better than Chimaev, but I can't wait to see them fight one day.
We'll see, man. I don't think we know these guys' levels fully yet. I think both of those guys we don't. I don't think we're even close to what they peak at because it's very early on still, man, in both their UFC careers.
Mm. Yeah, man, and especially I feel like we don't know how good either one of them are. And for Shavkat Ramonov, I feel like that applies especially even more because we haven't seen him fight a ranked guy. I feel like Chimaev, you know, he murked Li Jiangliang, who is ranked number 10. So we have a better idea. We know that he's at least number 10, you know? Mm-hmm. I think Shavkat Ramonov could be a top 5 guy, but we don't know his entire
level. We don't know yet. Yeah, you're right. And he's getting a different build-up, too.
Yeah, they're both getting very, very different build-ups. I mean, Chimaev's looking to be like the face of that division. Shavkat Ramonov, he's taken maybe a different approach than this, but he's kind of like a Leon Edwards type. He's kind of sitting in the background, just quietly doing his thing. And by the time he gets in the top 5, we're like, oh shit, Shavkat Ramad's in the top 5.
I mean, and there's factors to it where he comes from, his country, and he doesn't speak a lot of English or much at all, I think, if any. And I mean, man, this region, dude, it's producing good fighters. I mean, there's other guys on this roster from the same country who are really talented, dude. It's scary. I mean, this is another region that's getting unlocked, dude. It's like fucking Pokemon, dude. We're going to a different region every season, man. We're fighting these new Pokemon who are fucking good, dude. He's another one, dude.
For sure, man, for sure. Overall, though, I'm so hyped for him. And, honestly, dude, he's gonna be fun to watch from in the future.
Oh yeah, I already want to see him again, dude. Book him for next week. Fuck
exactly. Do it.
Put me in there. I'll get knocked out.
I don't know if that's a good idea, man. But I mean, who would you want to see him fight next?
Josh.
He's ranked 15. Who do you want to see him fight next?
Dude, I kid you not. I could see them putting him against the Leech. Like
the Leash? Oh, dude, no.
I could see them doing that. I'm not saying that's who I want to see him against. I just think that in their mind they're like, that's a banger. They both go out there. It's gonna be a finish. Like I could see him doing that. Another a ranked opponent. I don't know if they'll do Ponzinibbio like that. I think they're gonna give Ponzinibbio a good matchup. Maybe Jeff Neal an option, co-main event on a card, potentially. But yeah, I think those are good options right now, in my opinion.
Yeah, I can see him. I mean, just a couple of names. I think he's gonna be fighting somebody in that 10 to 14 range. I don't think they're gonna do the Leech because I think that'd be too obvious.
You think Chiesa? You think they would do Chiesa?
I could see it happening. I could also see him. I think it's going to be possibly Wonderboy because I feel like they're trying to get Wonderboy out of there to an extent.
Yeah. Well, didn't Wonderboy get booked, or weren't they? Wasn't he having conversations? I could be wrong.
I believe he's having conversations. I don't think he's been booked yet. I know that he called out somebody recently. I don't know who it was. Not a call out, but he's Wonderboy. You know how he does things.
Yeah.
I don't know. I honestly, I think probably Jeff Neal. I think Jeff Neal makes sense.
That makes sense. He's coming off a win too, right? If I remember right.
Yeah, he beat Ponzinibbio.
Yeah. Which I mean, after that whole little drama, wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, but yeah, I could see it. I could see him fighting Jeff Neal next. But regardless, dude, yeah, overall, great performance by him. Moving on down the card, I think we should probably just.
I think we're just gonna keep going down, dude. It was one of these nights where we can really do one of these.
Yeah, for sure, man. Brendan Allen came in on 4 days' notice, I want to say. Let me double check. 3 days' notice, excuse me.
Holy shit.
3 days' notice, and he comes in, and Sam Alvey, let me say this, by the way. Sam Alvey looked as good as he has during his entire stretch.
Oh, yeah.
I thought he was looking good, landing a bunch of good combinations. He was more active than normal. His left hook was landing all day.
You heard him.
I thought he was winning the fight, and then all of a sudden, boom, he gets dropped. Brendan Allen jumps on with the choke. Brendan Allen, 3 days' notice, he gets a submission victory. Holy shit, dude. And by the way, let's go and say it. Sam Alvey now has the longest winless streak in UFC history.
I mean, which shouldn't be like that. Let's just clarify that because there is some decisions in there.
Obviously, I think the Dong Jung fight was a terrible decision. I thought he also beat Wellington Turman, but at the end of the day...
and we had Ryan Spann, too, was another one that we
I thought he lost that one, but scorecards are scorecards. Yeah. He officially does now. So, and he still has a job. So, the UFC just cut a bunch of fighters. They cut 6 fighters yesterday. But he's still...
we might have to invite Sam out to the podcast, man, so you can come beat me up, dude. Give him a win.
He said he's going to be taking some time off.
I'll take a fat dive, man, for you, Sam. You have no idea.
He'll do it, Sam. He'll do it. Yeah, man. He said he's going to be taking some time off. He needs to reevaluate his training and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And, I mean, like I said, I feel like he's in an interesting position where I feel like he shouldn't be fighting these sorts of guys, but at the same time, it's like...
Yeah, no, the matchups have been bad.
Yeah, he is the unenviable position of being a known name, but not being good enough to be in the top 25.
Yes, yeah, no,
so,
you're right.
It's unfortunate for him, but
yeah, no. But can't you agree with me to a certain extent? Certain matchups were kind of not great. Some of them were like, okay, maybe you should have beat this guy, but the decision didn't go your way. Like, I think he has a number of factors. Obviously, he is still part of it, right? Like, he could go out there and finish the fight. This is the highest level, and he should be fighting at the highest level, right?
Yeah.
So, but. And, we're here now. It's happened. We're going to see what he decides to do. Next fight.
Yeah, for sure. And we'll see if he gets back to the UFC. As of now, he's not been cut. Brendan Allen, though, hell of a win. Hell of a way to get back in the win column. Instead of being on 3 days' notice. I mean, I don't care who you are. winning a fight on 3 days' notice up a weight class.
I got a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
How are you vibing with Brendan Lillian his bod at 205, dude? How are you feeling? Did you think he should consider doing another fight at 205? I mean, I don't think.
No, I think he's a clear 185er. I thought
Really? I didn't think he looked terrible. I'm like, I wouldn't mind seeing another fight at 205.
No, he didn't look terrible, but I think he's a clear 185er, at least in my opinion. I thought he obviously made 205, but he looked like a bit.
Well, I mean, he looked
out of shape.
He made 205 because he didn't do anything.
Yeah, but I'm saying he looked a bit out of shape, and honestly,
but that's without him preparing. Yeah, but that's with him without preparing properly for 205. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean it's possible if he prepares the correct way, he could.
Because I felt like he didn't look like, I feel like he looked a little, like he didn't look obviously not as depleted, right? But I saw him and his legs were bigger. He looked bigger in his chest, obviously because he's keeping weight on. And I almost kind of vibed with it. I'm like, I almost wonder how it'd look if he did a proper weight cut, put on the right amount of muscle, found where he feels comfortable at 205 and kind of see how maybe 205 would be for him. I don't think it's like the best choice, but maybe in the future, maybe once he gets older, weight cutting gets a little harder, maybe 205 wouldn't be a terrible place to be.
It's possible. It's possible at a certain point that, if he does decide to put on weight the right way, it could be interesting. I think if he caps out at a certain place at 185, maybe he should experiment there. But for right now, I think probably middleweight's to go for him.
I mean, he could do it now, so it's like, why wouldn't you do it?
Yeah, okay. Well, fair enough. Agree to disagree. He's an interesting guy, though, moving forward. I feel like Brendan Allen, he's still only 26. That's the thing. Like, I was about to say, like, he could be so much better, but he's still only 26 years old. And if you look at his losses, I thought he was winning that Chris Curtis fight until he got knocked out. And at the same time, like, he lost to Sean Strickland, and Sean Strickland is a motherfucker. So,
yeah.
No shame in it, dude. He still has some good wins. Beat Kyle Dawkins, beat, Kevin Holland, now beat Sam Alvey. So, I mean, he's still not a bad guy by any means. Still only 26 years old. Yeah, man, we'll keep an eye on him moving forward. But, dude, the tough battle, which, Tresean Gore said during fight week, it's not the battle for who's the best middleweight at a tough. He earned that title the right way, but I'm still going to beat him. Well, for his sake, probably a good thing this fight happened now, because he probably wouldn't be in the UFC otherwise. Yeah, man, he got signed to the UFC after, he got the chance despite getting an injury, not being able to fight in the tough final. Brian Battle obviously ended up winning it as a result, and dude, he put it on him, man. Overall, Tresean Gore showed moments, especially that second round where he rocked him. But outside of that, he just didn't really let his hands go. Brian Battle gets the win. What are your thoughts on that fight?
I was a little disappointed, man. He just let that first round go, man, and you can't do that, man. I mean, we've seen it. Number one example, Manalkot, man. Not putting out there, and he has the full skill set. And we've seen it in his last fights, man. He's letting it go. He's winning, and he's looking good, and he's getting finishes. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And granted, drastically different fighting styles, right? Let's clarify that. And different weight classes. A weight class where speed's a big factor, and being young and being quick's a big thing, right? I gotta clarify that as well, But you saw it, man. He's a talented individual. He's very naturally gifted. He just needed to let his hands go a bit and be comfortable and really, say, fuck it. If I get tired, I get tired. I need to go out and win this third round with everything. I need to go out here. Something? He's going to take me down? Fuck that. I'm taking him down. You know what I mean? He had to do that stuff. And even on the ground, he had his moments. He had his successes. He did some stuff. He had some scrambles. I mean, he very clearly has the tools there. He just needs to get them all together, have confidence in himself, and put them out there. I just don't know why he held back and decided to be so tight. I get it, though. Brian is a very good technical fighter, Josh. I mean, in his last two fights, now officially in the UFC, we've seen it, dude. He is very tight. But, he did get caught, man, and he's about to be seeing 3 Tresean Gores, for a second there. I mean, and you see the aftermath, man. I mean, Tresean's punches had a fucking effect, dude. I mean, if I didn't tell you who won that fight, Josh, you wouldn't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, for Tresean, I'm sure he's going to go back and be like, damn it, dude, I really just fucked up. And look, it was the first time under the bright lights, first time in there. And I felt like he didn't have those issues in the Tough House. And for some reason, they happened here. And I do think maybe it was some stage fright. Maybe it was a matchup. Maybe it was a number of things. But he's going to go back and look at that and be like, damn, I really let that one go. I could have won that, and I could have even got the finish. And I'll tell you this, dude, that's not the last time those guys are going to fight. Those guys are definitely going to fight again. So, it's going to be a while, but for Brian, I'm sure he's really happy, and his ceiling is really high, man. I want to keep seeing him grow. Obviously, Josh, my issue with him. We're not going to talk about it on air, but he reminds me of someone so. You know, not his fault by
No, not his fault at all.
But I'm putting putting respect on his name now that he's won. You know, just to show my appreciation for him as a fighter, because he really went out there and had a great performance, and because he has a great set of kicks, great stand up, and he has a good ground game. I mean, his ceiling is untapped. You know,
for sure, he's very diverse. With his attacks on the feet. Yeah, he's an interesting guy. I think whenever it comes to Tresean, and both these guys, we got to remember they're far from finished products.
Oh yeah. And they can talk. They both can talk too,
they both can. And I think they're both going to be around, dude. I think Tresean, once he figures out, I feel like he's got to work on his combinations, probably work on his gas. He's going to be a problem, dude, because he has that God-given power, dude. Like, he's fucking God. I mean, he rarely threw anything. And part of it is Brian was throwing a variety of shit at him. Always kept him guessing. Threw a lot of feints out there as well. So, props to him. But at the same time, it's like, dude, whenever Tresean actually let his hands go, he nearly knocked him out in that second round. Like, he had him like rocked. But yeah, man, it's going to be interesting watching the both of them moving forward. Overall, though, a solid performance for Brian Bell. Overall, very, very solid performance. And he even had the tough, the award there at the end. He was like raising it up, like
talking some shit too to
talking some shit there. Yeah.
I like that too. He even brought up some history too. He's like, yeah, he got crucifixed at one of their first UFCs and this and that. I was like, yeah.
They're both going at it.
That was
so dope. It was dope. As far as the rest of the card goes, man, what are some of the other fights you want to go and highlight?
Ooh, I mean, here, let me pull it up real quick so I can look at it. Julian Rosa, Steven Peterson was a banger, Josh. I think this might have been fight of the night for me. I don't know if you agree with me.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I completely missed that one. Yeah, that was fight of the night for sure. That was a hell of a fight.
Yeah, that was fight of that. Josh missed it, heartbreaking, but it was a banger. What's another one? Chidi Njokuani, Josh. I look over. I kid you not, Josh. We're sitting. I look over at Nate. I'm like, yeah, this guy has pretty heavy hands. The fight starts, and 16 seconds in, Josh, the fight ends. Did you see the knockout or did you miss it? I don't know if you have any thoughts on that.
Yeah, man, I saw it. Yeah, I love Mr. Chidi Njokuani. He's I've told people, man, he's a bad man. Like whenever he was in Bellator, he was good, right? But he never really get past the top level of guys. And now he's in the UFC after this long road, and he's shown, dude, he's got that power. Like he's very well rounded, and he's still only 33 years old. Like he took some time off after he got cut from Bellator. He had he took a fight in the LFA, but then he took damn near a full year off after he got cut from Bellator to have that fight in the LFA. He took another year off to fight in the Contender Series, and he looks like he's just done nothing but get in the gym, kept working. And he faced Marc-Andre Barriault, who's kind of like, he's a solid guy, just like a step below the top 15, and he murked him, dude. That was not even close. So shout out Chidi Njokuani. That was a hell of a knockout, man.
That was, dude. And you look at his Bellator losses. I mean, he only lost to the creme of the creme, man. Like you said, Rafael Carvalho, John Salter, Andrei Korshkov. I mean, if you lost any of those, if those names are in the UFC and you lost to them, I don't think you would feel bad about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. I mean, he's a solid ass dude. Very, very good.
And I got another shout out here. My boy Highton Almeida, Josh. I'm telling you, he is the next thing at 205, bro. He came out, got a big win over Danilo Marquez. I mean, dude, that was a fucking great performance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a hell of a performance, dude. Hold on. Let me actually double check something. Who did he call out after the fight? I forgot.
Did he actually call someone out, or are you talking about Chidi?
No. I'm talking about your guy.
Oh, Hassan Almeida? He called someone out. Oh, man.
Yeah, I can't remember who, though. It was like a name that I was like, oh, damn, dude, really?
I wish I could remember off the top of the name. Shogun.
That's exactly it. He called out Shogun. I'm like, man, like, can we leave him alone, please?
He's like, dude, I want that money. Give me that fight.
He murked Dylan Marquez. That was a fucking brutal fight.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, do we really gotta watch him fight Shogun, man? Like,
yeah, Shogun just tapped out to strikes, dude, like a year ago, like 2 years
it's a guy
ago.
that he dominated the first time around, so.
Yeah.
Yikes. Yeah, man, solid win for him. Hate the call out, but solid win.
Josh is like, why him, man?
Why?
It could be anybody. Call me out.
Please.
Yeah.
Philip Rowe got a nice win over Jason Witt via TKO. That was a solid knockout, man. That was a hell of a combination. Hakeem Dawodu defeated Michael Trizano. Not a whole lot to talk about there, but I know that Hakeem Dawodu said he was going to retire had he not won that fight.
That's intense.
Yeah, he's only 30 still. He's still getting better. I thought it was probably his most well-rounded performance of his entire UFC career. I'm sure you heard the criticism because, third round Hakeem is a real thing up until this fight. From the word go, he was just putting it on Michael Trisano, bro. Like, nothing but tons and tons of activity, tons of pressure. I think he landed something crazy at 47 strikes in the first round alone. Like, he was putting it on him, bro. It's all win by him. Overall, pretty fun card. Nice return for the UFC, man. Nice return. However, this upcoming card, UFC 271, going to from the Toyota Center in Houston, Texas, this Saturday night. The main event is up until my most anticipated fight in a long time. Israel Adesanya, Robert Whittaker 2, the rematch. Obviously, these two fought back in October 2019. October 6, 2019. Obviously, Whittaker was the champion. Adesanya was the interim champion. Izzy put a clinic on him, dude. He knocked him down in the final seconds of the first round, knocked him out in halfway through the second round. And, Izzy since then, obviously, did lose to Jan, but he's looked dominant at middleweight. Obviously, he beat Yoel, he beat Paulo Costa, and just completely battered him, and then he dominated Marvin Vettori. And then, on the other side of things, Bob Whittaker is the first ever fighter in UFC history. Following his loss of the title, he was ranked number 1. He has remained in that spot the entire time, working his way back to the title over 2.5 years. He's gotten better, dude. He beat Darren Till via decision. That was a close fight, but then the next two were not even close. He dominated Jared Cannoniere, dominated Kelvin Gastelum to get his spot back to the title, the fight for the title that he lost against his biggest rival. These two, both pretty chill guys. Maybe not Izzy beefs with everybody. But Robert Whittaker, Bobby Knuckles, pretty chill dude, and they got beef, and I'm so excited for it, dude. This matchup is incredible on so many different levels. What is your anticipation level going into this weekend, and what are you excited for, man?
It's growing, man. I've been keeping up with the videos, the UFC puts out. I've been watching a lot of stuff, right, and just getting really myself pumped up. I don't know if out of all the cards we have, none of them have really got me rolling like Ngannou and Moreno did because it was a return, but nothing's been like, damn, dude, I'm fucking ready for this, like this is gonna be fucking out there. I mean, this bit here, now has got me a little bit excited because, I started watching, the Embeddeds, and the Embeddeds have been really good, but I'm not fully there yet. And it's weird because, this card has a lot of names that I like. Obviously, Derek's back, Ty's back, and, who doesn't love Israel, right, and Robert, and obviously, I think, at least for my money, I think Izzy's, like, the biggest, or one of the biggest stars right now in the UFC. Like, I think he's that guy. He can carry the UFC banner on him, and his style and everything is just perfect, man. And obviously, now we're here, Ozzy versus Kiwi. We love the matchup. I think there's a lot of drama there between, obviously, those two countries. They got their little competitiveness back and forth. And we find ourselves here, man, finally, this weekend on February 12th, man, in the, what is it, is it the Toyota Center, the Honda Center? I always forget what it is. The Toyota Center. And,
called the Toyota Center?
Toyota Center. It's whatever, man. You know what I'm referring to. You don't have to hurt my feelings.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
Why do you attack me, man? I'm gonna get you canceled, Josh.
No, I didn't do it. I didn't know what Joe Rogan is.
No, but as far as matchmaking, we knew this was gonna happen, right? We knew this road was gonna lead to here eventually, right? Where the title's on the line, 5 rounds. Last time out, didn't go Robert's way. It happened in Australia, right? It's a little heartbreaking, man, because I really wish this happened in Australia or New Zealand, dude. I feel like for me, it's not gonna be the same vibe because of that. I went back and I rewatched that fight today, and dude, even the commentary is hard to hear because of the people being so loud in there.
Yeah.
Like, I had to, find a good audio place where it wasn't too loud and it wasn't too quiet to get the commentary, but hear the fight, because I still like hearing the punches. I know, weird, right? But,
I believe it was the second most, second biggest UFC, audience ever.
Yeah, well, there you go. That's probably why. And, yeah, dude, I was just like, damn, the energy was really there for this fight. I don't feel like it's fully there for this one just because of that. I really am a little disappointed about that. But hey, man, all this stuff going on in the world, right? We can't control we can't have everything, right? So that's just how life is. Every country is dealing with the pandemic differently, and then with COVID differently still. Hopefully we don't get demonetized because of that, Josh. No, I was kidding. No. We're good. But man, I mean, it's, I'm going to get into it, Josh. I mean, I think the Kiwi gets it done again, Josh. I think Israel Adesanya is going to come back, have another win over Robert Whittaker. Look, a lot of people are talking about, well, this time Robert's going to, the wrestling was there. We didn't use it last time. Izzy's been figured out. Jan figured it all out, man. He has the formula. And I'm like, man, look, let's be honest. We all knew the formula back before. If we want to beat Izzy, you take the striker out of the striker's realm. You take him down to the ground. No one had done it before. People had tried. No one had done a great job of it. The person who did it was Jan Blachowicz, who had, a significant amount of weight on him, and then Izzy, who hadn't weighed in, didn't even weigh near 200 pounds the night of. You know what I mean? So maybe Robert could do something with the ground. I think maybe Robert could give him hell, make it difficult with him, give him different looks, make Izzy think a lot. But look, at 185, no one's done it yet. I don't think anybody's going to do it yet. I think the Kiwi does it again. I'm picking the Black Dragon. Deep cut for y'all there. Israel Adesanya for this weekend.
Yeah, man. I think that's such a dumb thing. I know exactly what you're talking about. People are like, oh, Jan figured him out. I'm like, nah, man. Like, everybody's known you're not going to beat Izzy on the feet. Like, you're just not. Like,
it's a fact.
I mean, obviously, a guy like Kelvin Gastelum back when they fought in like 2018, 2019, I mean, Kelvin rocked him a couple times, but he was also winning on average. Like, he was losing more exchanges than he was winning. He was coming up on the short end. And that was Kelvin when he had super fast hands, tons of power in his right. Kelvin's past his prime now, I think. But, dude, that was the greatest night of Kelvin Gastelum's career, and he still came up short. You're not going to beat him standing up on the feet unless you mix in the grappling, unless you mix in the clinch work. And I think that's what Whittaker's going to do. I think he's going to do a lot better than the first time. Let me say that. I think he's going to do a lot better. I think, he's improved a lot. And I also think he's improved defensively. For as much as I like Rob, he kind of relied on his chin a lot during his winning streak. I mean, he was taking bombs from Yoel, dude. Like, maybe not prime Yoel, but you know what I mean? Like, he was still taking some bombs. And then he found in the guy that was just precise enough to put him out. I think he's improved a lot defensively. I think he's going to mix in the clinch work. I think he's going to mix in the grappling a lot more than he did the first time around, which is literally nothing. And I'm just expecting it to be a lot different. However, I still think he is, and it's depressing to say, because Robert Whittaker is probably one of my favorite fighters in all of the UFC. He's a great dude. He's in Skyrim now.
On guys?
Huh?
He's in Skyrim, like the game?
Yeah.
They put him in the game.
Yeah, he's a DLC character.
That's fucking awesome.
And we know when they came out with the Legendary Edition.
Yeah.
He's in, I think he's in Whiterun.
That's dope.
Yeah, it's dope. He streams and he's partnered with Bethesda, so that's why.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a massive gamer. I love everything about the kid. He's a great guy, and I love him, dude. Huge fan of him. Great fighting style, great dude. I just think he is the Rich Franklin to Anderson Silva. And by that I mean, if you guys don't know, maybe you don't remember back in like 2006, 2007, Rich Franklin was the dude. I mean, he was going to be working his way up to the GOAT conversation had Anderson not been there. I think he was like 22-1, 23-1. He had a couple title defenses under his belt, and then Anderson came in, wrecked his shit, took his belt. Rich Franklin worked his way back to the title shot, got his shit wrecked again, and he was just iced out of the title conversation for a long time. And I think the same thing's going to happen here. I think I'm going to go Izzy again. Probably, I think Whittaker's going to do well, maybe take a round or two, but I'm going to go with Israel Adesanya. I'm not sure how, possibly a late finish, maybe a decision. I think it's going to be a lot closer, but I don't think it's going to be enough, man. And that's depressing, but it is what it is, dude. Very excited for this fight, though. Regardless, I would not be surprised if Whittaker pulled it out. Just some magic and was able to go ahead and win this one. As far as the rest of the card goes, obviously, co-main event, I think it's a little bit of weird placement until I remembered that they were in Houston. H-Town on that hoe. Derek Lewis is back, ladies and gentlemen. The Black Beast, for the first time since, he fought Chris Dawkous, right, at the Apex, like, not that long ago.
Oh, yeah. These guys fought not too long ago, dude. It hasn't been
December 18th. December 18th. But outside of that, he's making his first return to Houston since he got knocked out by Cyril Gane. That was supposed to be his big moment. He's supposed to fight Ngannou, and Ngannou didn't fight, stepped in Cyril Gane. Possibly the worst match for him in the entire, he is the worst match for him in the entire division. Got dominated. Now he's back in Houston, taking on Tai Tuivasa. Interesting matchup here. Tai is ranked number 11. He's won 4 fights in a row, all via knockout after, nearly getting cut. He had 3 losses in a row, but when he fought Struve, he's going to be an interesting fight. 2 very beloved fighters, 2 beloved heavyweights. Who do you got in the co-main?
I mean, Josh, you know me, bro. I never pick against the Black Beast. You know he got it this week, baby. Derek Lewis, stand up.
H-Town, stand up. Yeah, man, it's gonna be.
Man, I love it.
They're gonna be swinging and banging for however long it goes on.
2 rounds, dude.
Yeah, not long. I'm gonna be honest with you. I like Tai Tuivasa a lot. I really do. However, I think that Derek Lewis's technical ability, and I said this after his last win too, it's perennially underrated. I mean, it is very, very underrated in terms of his technical ability. In terms of his feints, I mean, he set up his last knockout shot perfectly against Chris Daukaus. So, yeah, man, I'm going to go ahead and take Derek Lewis, the Black Beast, to get back into the win column, get back in the, the title conversation. So,
Stipe, where you at? Quit running from the Black Beast. No,
I mean, I think legitimately if Derek Lewis wins here, we could see him against John Jones for the interim strap.
Oh my God, could you imagine?
It depends on if Stipe wants to fight John. That's essentially it. Because let's say he doesn't want to, who's up after that?
No, you're right. Yeah. I just looked at the whole heavyweight division to see, dude, everybody's booked. So that's probably why Ty ended up with him. Marcin Tybura's booked, who was right above him. Literally every name above him was booked. I'm here. Let me see if I can pull it up again real quick since we're talking about it. Yeah. So everybody but Curtis Place was the only guy who wasn't booked. I don't know what's going on with Curtis. Obviously, he had that really bad knockout against Derek, and then he brought it back and went with Jairzinho. But obviously, Volkov was booked. Jairzinho got booked against Marcin Tybura, and then obviously Tom Aspinall was fighting Volkov, and you get the whole mix. So that's probably why Ty ended up here with Derek. If not, I do think like a Jairzinho Rosenstruik Marcin Tybura matchup would have made a lot more sense. But those two guys are fighting each other.
Mm. That makes sense then. I did not know the entire booking. So yeah, that makes a lot more sense laid out that way. But yeah, dude, I'm gonna go ahead and take the Black Beast in this one, get back to the win column in his hometown. Yeah, I mean, I'd be surprised if Ty wins though, just because these two are coming to swing and bang, and I could see, whoever lands, that's gonna be it. I'm gonna go get Derek Lewis for the hometown dub though. In my opinion, I thought this should have been the co-main event. This fight we're about to talk up.
It
next.
Makes sense, but it also makes sense why Derek's there. Of
course, and I think they're probably just trying to have them, structured differently because they're both middleweight guys. This is a title eliminator bout, I think. I don't know if it's been labeled as such. It might have been. I might have missed it. But the winner of this is going to potentially get a title shot next, and it makes sense, dude. Jared Cannoniere taking on Derek Brunson. Derek Brunson said this week, man, he's only had 2 more fights in him. In those 2 fights, he said he's going to win this one, and then he's going to beat Izzy. So it's going to be, he's got big plans ahead. It's hard to argue with that, confidence considering his current win streak. He's won 5 in a row. I believe he's an underdog for every single one of those fights. Obviously his most recent one being a 3rd round submission of Darren Till last September. He thought after that one that he's going to get the title shot. He thought he'd done enough. However, he's going to end up facing Cannoniere. Cannoniere's won 4 of 5. His last one being a win over Kelvin Gastelum via unanimous decision. In that stretch, though, he's beat Jack Hermanson, Anderson Silva, David Branch. Got a couple of nice wins in there. Ever since moving down to middleweight, he's obviously been a incredible contender. Tons of punching power. Great guy. And now it's his time, dude. If he wins this one, potentially a title shot next. I know that Izzy said he wants to fight him someday. I think it'd be an interesting fight. If Brunson wins, we'd be looking down the barrel potential rematch between him and Izzy. Those two fought back in 2018. Angel Man, very interesting matchup, right alongside the main event, or this is probably the second best fight on the card, at least in my opinion. What are your thoughts on this one?
I'm excited for it, dude. It is a bit weird to me, though, that Jared's getting this kind of opportunity. No hate to Jared Cannoniere. You know what I mean? I don't know if you agree with me on that. I think if he would have been Robert Whittaker, it'd be a little different if he was getting matched up against Derek and then he was getting put in the title eliminator, rather than now, after getting 1 win over... who was it? Was it the Darren Till, or was it a different one? Was there someone else?
What do you mean?
Jerry Cannoniere.
He beat Gastelum.
He beat Gastelum. That's who it was. I thought you fought Darren Till. I think I'm mixing him up with someone else. But whatever.
Yeah, you mixed him up with Brunson.
Mixed him up with Brunson. That's who he fought. That was Brunson's last fight, correct?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. So it is a bit weird to me that Jared's in this position to an extent. I mean, I get it because I think they like him and they kind of know Izzy wants to fight Jared. And obviously Derek's already fought Izzy, and they kind of want to. I'm assuming to an extent they don't want to give him another rematch if they don't have to. just to have different stories, you know what I mean? But I mean, I feel like Derek could have got the title shot regardless without this fight, you know what I'm saying? So I always thought this was a weird fight. I thought Derek Brunson fighting again after his last win was weird anyways, at least in my opinion.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, I kind of get your viewpoint. At the same time, though, you really got to look at how this division is kind of structured. I mean, also we got to remember, Cannoniere, had he beat Whitaker, he would have gotten a title shot. That's pretty much already laid out. So I'm not surprised that with another win, with one win here and then potentially another one, I would not be surprised for him to get a title shot. So it makes sense.
Oh yeah, I get it. I mean, as far as matchmaking, man, I mean, it's a good fight. Obviously, always, right? Always when they set up these fights, for the most part, they're good fights. And I think as far as who I got, man, I got Derek Brunson, man. I think Derek Brunson will be able to do it. It's 3 rounds. I think in 3 rounds, I feel like, I mean, it's very dangerous, right? Because it's Jared Cannoniere. I mean, he only needs to land one time, and it'll change the whole aspect of the fight. But the way Derek Brunson is looking, man, he's looking good. He's looking dangerous on the ground, and I think if we were to get it down to the ground, Jared Cannoniere does have some wrestling capabilities. I just don't know if it'll be enough to stop Derek Brunson. I'm picking Derek Brunson to win.
That's honestly fair enough, dude. Jared Cannoniere, the biggest question for me personally has always been his wrestling. I mean, in light heavyweight, it was by far his biggest downfall. I mean, he lost the Glover fight purely off of wrestling. People forget that one, probably because it was a terrible fight, but yeah, he got out wrestled for every single minute of that fight. Jan, I remember it being a somewhat similar case. I know Jan, it was just probably stand up, but anytime they got in the clinch, you just got overpowered. And you can argue maybe that was a 205 problem. But even then, I remember Jack making that first round against Cannoniere. He had a little bit of success in the grappling, if I remember correctly. So it's a massive question. We've not seen him take on anybody in terms of Brunson's caliber. And Brunson, ever since he's gone back to the wrestling, because he was such an accomplished wrestler coming in, then he started just, swang and bang. And then he ended up having success with that. But during his winning streak, he's gone back to the wrestling. I'm torn about it. I'm going to go ahead and take Jared Cannoniere, though. I just think they got 15 minutes. Derek Brunson, we kind of saw, in that Till fight, man, we kind of seen little hints of it, that his chin has started to go. And for a long time, his chin was very, very solid, but then he got knocked out by Jacare, he got knocked out by Izzy. Shahbazian hurt him at one point. Holland tagged him a couple of times. Till nearly knocked him out. And people forget, dude, Till had him rocked before that final scramble. Till nearly knocked him out. Brunson shoots for a panic takedown. Till reverses, and there's a huge scramble, comes out on top, gets a submission win. Had that not happened, probably having a very different conversation, man. If Till just decides not to scramble. So I'm going to go ahead and take Jared Cannoniere. I think he's got 15 minutes to land one big bomb. I think he's going to go ahead and do it. This card is structured strangely. I think there's a couple of other clear fights they could have put on this main card, but, here we got Kyler Phillips. Interesting prospect, still only 26 years old. He is coming off a loss to our boy Julian Pavia. That fight took place in July 2021, took off a long time. Taking on Marcelo Rojo, obviously, I believe a former Combate fighter. Came into the UFC, had a fun fight with Charles Jourdain, but did get knocked out. Interesting placement on this main card here. Who do you got in this bantamweight fight?
Oh, man. Like you said, weird placing. They're giving Kyler Phillips another spot on the main card, though. They must, really like Kyler Phillips, or they must have a friend in the UFC, a family member, cousin, someone, Josh, because he's been having nice placements on these cards, man. I don't think I remember him having any sort of hype before coming into UFC, or I don't know if he had any, but he's gotten some, let's put it as favorable placing on cards, places for a guy with maybe not a massive record, or a guy who doesn't have the biggest, at least in my opinion, I don't think has the biggest following. On these cards. So obviously no hate, right? He's having them, and he's a good fighter, and he's taking advantage of his opportunity. So no hate, right? Yeah. But I don't even think he's ranked right now, is he? Or is he ranked?
He's not.
He's not even ranked, and he's on the main card. And I'm pretty sure we have some ranked fighters on the undercard, I believe, multiple actually at that. So some question marks there. No hate though. We already had one fighter complain this week about his placement on the card. We'll get into that later.
We'll get to that one, yeah. And I agree with him, by the way.
Oh, no, definitely, right? I thought the same thing. But matchup-wise, fun fight. Marcelo Rojo, though, a bit wild. He's kind of that guy who will take, 3 to give 3, I don't know if that's going to work out against Kyler Phillips. I'm picking Kyler Phillips.
Fair enough, man. Yeah, I'm going to go and take Kyler Phillips. I think that he is an interesting prospect. Still only 26. I think the Rulon Pavia fight was an absolute war. I think he honestly made a good case for a draw on that one. I wouldn't agree with it, but I know that some people wanted that one to be a draw. Marcelo Rojo is going to come to bang, but he's not, he's not really much of a pro. He's 34, right? He's 34 years old. Former combate fighter. He's been through a lot. This is going to be a fun fight, but I think it's kind of tailor-made for Kyle Phillips to get back into the win column. Another strange booking. I mean, it's going to be a fun fight, but on the main card worthy, probably not. King Bobby Green. At this point, dude, it's so easy to forget how long Bobby Green's been around, dude. He is a former King of the Cage champ. He fought fucking Charles Bennett back in 2009, dude.
Shout out.
Yeah, he was a Strikeforce guy, came to UFC. He's been in UFC for 9 years now, man. And you could make the case. I wouldn't necessarily agree. Because when he first came in, he got some huge wins. I mean, beat James Krause, beat Josh Thompson. However, I think you can make a very good case that his current run is arguably the best of his career. At least if you look at the competition. He won 4 of his last 6. Granted, he had 2 losses in there, but those Thiago Moises, I thought he definitely won that one. And I think you can make a good case that he beat Rafael Fiziev in Houston in the last time out. He obviously did knock out Ally Quinta as well. His most recent fight, UFC 268, taking on a former, he's still only 26, so is it fair to call him a prospect? I don't know. Possibly a failed prospect, but I remember when he came to the UFC, it's so much hype. He's kind of turned out, he's had some ups and some downs. He's coming off the loss to Dan Hooker, but Nasrat Haqparast, out of Germany, still a very interesting guy, tons of knockout power. Who do you got in this one?
Look, man, I think depending on the day of the week, I could change my pick here. I'm being dead serious with you, Josh. Look.
I can see that.
Looking back at that Dan Hooker fight, Josh, there was a lot of factors going into that. His mother had just passed away. He was going back between Germany and the States. He had to make weight still. He had to cut. And he didn't know if the fight was going to happen or not because it was like Dan Hooker can't get a visa, but then he did get a visa. And then, all this stuff, right? I think there's a lot of imminent factors going into that fight that kind of shaped the fight a little different than what he would have expected. And initially, he was doing good on the feet. He was doing good in the sim. And then Dan Hooker, who's not a wrestler, he gets to wrestle, so completely threw him off his game plan. Completely, he expected a stand-up fight against a guy who's, traditionally a stand-up guy who ended up taking him to the ground for the rest of the fight because he was finding success on the feet. There's stuff there that, I think you have to go a little back and look at it that affected that fight a bit, and that definitely had some sort of impact on him. Granted, though, he still had those issues. You need to prepare for them. You have to adjust to them. And now we find him here again a few months later, and he's going to fight Bobby Green, who, like you said, he's on a very good run here at this, later part of his career. I think at the start, a few days ago, if you would have asked me, I would have said Nasrat Haqparast. But now that if you ask me right now, Josh, I would say Bobby Green.
Yeah, man, I completely know how you feel. In terms of this fight, I could see either one of these guys coming out of it. And you make a lot of good points with Nasrat Haqparast. People really do forget that situation, and I mean, you can even argue they shouldn't have been the guy in that situation, considering I think he's kind of a level below what Dan Hooker was at that point. I mean, Dan was at the time ranked number 6 or something. So him going from unranked to fighting number 6 was a huge leap to begin with. Plus, add in all the other factors, it wasn't exactly fair to him. I am still going to take Bobby Green though. I think he's very well rounded. He's 35, but I feel he's finally putting all the potential that he had for so long together. I think he showed in that Ally Quinta fight, dude. I mean, to be fighting in New York against Ray Janao, a guy that's super beloved, and obviously whenever he had fought in a long time, when he left, he was ranked in the top 10. And for him to just get nuked out of there, that's the first knockout loss Ally Quinta had in his entire career. And I'm pretty sure he's going to retire now, but yeah, man, only one knockout loss in his entire career. Came against Bobby Green, dude. He's putting it all together. Fast hands. I'm going to go and give it to King Bobby Green, get back on the win column, potentially break into the top 15. I thought he should have been there a while ago. I think he gets back into there with the win this weekend. Dude, this card's structured weird. I do think we'd probably just have to go one down, though. Andre Arlovsky's back, dude.
I know, right?
He's 43 years old. He just turned 43 last week. And he's won 4 of his last 5. And by the way, he has some pretty good scalps in there, dude. Carlos Felipe was on a nice win streak. He beat Tanner Boser, who's a pretty nice prospect. And he's facing the 29-year-old Jared Vanderah, who, you know, interesting stretch in the UFC. He's 1-2. He had a nice win in the Contender Series. Interesting guy. Who do you got? I mean, not necessarily who do you got in this one, but what do you think about this matchmaking? Kind of Arlovsky's, you know, underdog run, I guess, so to speak. I mean, 43 years old, still doing the damn thing.
I mean, he's on the older end, right? And obviously at this point in his career, he's kind of like, it's sound a little negative, but he's kind of gatekeeping, man. You know what I mean? He really is that entrance into the heavyweight division. He's beat some good young guys that UFC has recently signed not too long ago, and he's beating them. And he's doing them in a good way, different ways than he had in the past. He's learned the way he has to fight now, which is very mature of him. Much respect to him. And honestly, if he wins this, Josh, I mean, he's not. I mean, you could argue a ranked opponent his next fight on the lower half, you know, of the 15.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a Sakai, Walt Harris, Blagoy Ivanov, you know, just depending how things go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, it's an interesting fight. I do think that gatekeeper is kind of like a term that's used in a bad way, but I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. Because Arlovsky, I mean, if we're being completely honest here, he probably should be ranked. He should probably be ranked like around 15, be that top 15 gatekeeper. He's very good. He's very, very good, especially at this point in his career, because for a long time, Arlovsky, he was always, how can I phrase this? He was a guy that would go out there and knock out or get knocked out. That was his thing for a long time. But somewhere around like 2017, he kind of switched his approach. He became more boxing oriented, more defensive oriented. And I understand some people, like, it's kind of weird to think about because he only has like one finish or one, like, of his last, dude, since 2018, Arlovsky, in every single fight he's been in, he's had a bunch of them. He's very active for his age. He's only been involved in 2 finishes, which is insane.
Of his own or again?
He got finished in both of them. He got knocked out. Like,
no, I just want to confirm. Yeah, and those are all top 10 guys.
Yeah. You know. But you don't even think of him as being like a boring guy because he's very boxing heavy. He has fast hands still for his age. He's very defensive oriented. I liked his last fighting against Carl Felipe. I thought it was very fun.
Wow, he fought 3 times last year.
Yeah, super active. And he said he wants to be the oldest heavyweight. Dude, he says he wants to be the oldest heavyweight champion ever. And, I mean, I don't know if that's going to happen, but, dude, for his age, 43, he's been fighting at a top level since 2005, 2004. I mean, fuck, dude. He's still great for his age.
Ryan Bader, where you at?
He wants the easiest fight in the division. He wants Ryan Bader.
Ryan Bader.
I think he probably wins too. I think he probably beats Jared Vanderhoff, honestly. But obviously that remains to be seen. But speaking of older individuals, we gotta get some love, Angel.
Oh, of course we do, Josh.
Friend of the podcast.
Nicest person in MMA, probably. I mean, we talk about Josh. It's not Brandon Moreno. It's not Glover Teixeira. It's not Sage Northcutt.
No.
It's Roxanne Modafferi.
It's Roxanne Modafucking Ferry. All right. Multiple time title challenger. All right. She has been fighting since fucking Hook and Shoot. All right. She is one of the
Josh, she's been fighting longer than we've been alive. Like that's not even a joke.
Yeah, she's the pioneer of the game, dude. She is the women's pioneer. At one point, she was on like a 7-fight losing streak. But she kept on working. She kept on fighting. She worked her way to a Victor title competition. She didn't win the title, but she got damn close. She worked her way to fighting for a UFC title. She got damn close to winning that one too. She's ranked number 12th in the world in the flyweight division. She's taking on a young monster in Casey O'Neill, who's ranked number 15. She's 24 years old. However, the real story is that it is going to be the final fight of Roxanne Modafferi's 19-year career. So, Angel, what are your thoughts on her retirement? Obviously, just kind of her whole story is just a crazy one. She's obviously known as one of the nice individuals in MMA. What is your favorite Roxanne Modafferi moment ahead of her retirement fight?
Dude, every way and ever, dude, where she dressed up like a character. Let's be honest, that shit's dope. Yeah. I gotta respect it. She never hid her personality. She's very out there. And, literally, dude, like I said, dude, probably without a doubt the nicest person in all of MMA. Like, it might not even be close. I'm sure she'll kind of dive into coaching. Obviously, she's now engaged, I believe so. I don't think she's officially married yet. And, I mean, she is just one of those people that you see, and she just enjoys life, man. It almost makes you kind of jealous when you're having a bitter day because you're like, damn, I need to be more like that. You know, I just need to enjoy life and be a little bit more happy because I don't think I've ever seen her angry. I've never seen her mad, even after a loss. Like, maybe a little bit of disappointment, but even then, man, she's one of those just very hardworking people, and everybody talks about her so well, and I saw Izzy talking about her and getting so much love. It just goes to show, you know, everything you hear about her is the truth, man, and man, end of a career, that's fine. She literally has done so much, and it's been so fun, and I'm sure she's had a lot of fun doing everything that she's wanted to do. Obviously, certain things didn't go messing the way she expected. She fell short a couple of times, but I think she's gonna, you know, stay with her gym, and I think she'll be a big part of that. And I think it's gonna be awesome. I'm sure she'll still be cornering people because obviously we've seen her corner at Invicta. Hopefully, we've seen her corner in the UFC. And hopefully she does some amazing stuff, man. I'm excited for her and whatever her future is after the fight game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. It's, honestly, she's always been one of my favorites, dude. And in terms of my favorite Roxanne Modafferi moment, I gotta get some shine to this one. Dude, it was the upset of the year.
I thought about betting my house on that, Josh.
Dude, Macy Barber. She, obviously nowadays, Macy Barber, 23 years old, she still has a way to go, but I feel like a lot of people kind of regard her in kind of like a failed prospect category. I think she could still get back into the title competition, but dude, she was murking girls, dude. Like she was looking like the flyweight that had knockout power. She had tons of hype, and then she ran into Roxanne Modafferi. Roxanne knocked her down. She beat the shit out of her, dude. Like it was probably her greatest performance of her career. And she's had a lot of good moments in just her whole story fighting back to get back to the title competition. Her beating Antonina Shevchenko, and Antonina had a lot of hype before everybody knew her grappling deficiencies. That was a lot of fun as well. Yeah, man. And obviously this weekend, she has a tough hill to climb. I'm not going to pretend. I think Casey O'Neill, her grappling, she's going to cause a lot of problems for a lot of people in that division. She is very good. She's been competing as an amateur since she was 15 years old. She is very, very good. Undefeated, 8-0. She's a huge road to climb, Roxanne does. But as far as her career goes, dude, hell of a career, Roxanne Modafferi. Hell of a career. The Happy Warrior. We'll see what happens this weekend. But yeah, man, I appreciate it. She's knowing when it's time to hang it up. Which is relatively rare to see. So yeah, we'll see what happens there. As far as the rest of the card goes, man, what are some of the other fights you want to go and highlight on there?
I mean, just you wait, Josh. Just you wait to see her win and call out Valentina. Be like, yeah, fuck retirement. No. But, I mean, one down, Josh. I mean, let's keep going. Alex Perez, Matt Schnell, man, underrated banger on the card. I mean, this is a guy who fought for the title, man. Had his moments, nothing too crazy. Did get finished, you know, but hey, man, I mean, he's still beat a lot of good guys in this division. And, he's finding himself here against Matt Schnell, who, Matt Schnell in his own right, also a good guy, dude. Fucking gives us bangers of fights. I mean, he fought, Rogerio, Bontrain last time out, and it wasn't like anything crazy, but it was a good enough fight. You know, you enjoyed it, right? Yeah. I mean, underrated banger, man. I think placement is a bit weird. I mean, I felt like those guys could have maybe been on the main card, but, you know, just my opinion.
No, I agree, actually. I agree. Yeah, man. I remember thinking that Alex Perez was actually going to be like, give problems to Figueiredo. Like, I remember thinking
it wasn't the case, sadly.
No, it was not. I mean, but dude, he still has a lot of like fun fights, dude. His Jose Torres fight was a fucking banger where he just knocked the shit out of him. The Jordan Espinosa fight put him to sleep. Josiah Famiga, he knocked him. He had the rare like leg kick knockout, dude. Like TKO, I mean. So yeah, that was dope. But yeah, this fight should be a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. But I think we referenced it earlier, so I feel we kind of got to bring it up. I mean, there's some fun fights in the card. William Nice coming back. Overall, it's a fun card. Shout out Douglas Silva to Andrade. Damn near opening up the card should be a lot of fun. I'm super high on him, but Alexander Hernandez, Renato Moicano, here you have a guy in Hernandez who at one point regarded as one of the most bright prospects. I mean, he holds a knockout win over Benny Dariush, and he might fight for a title later this year. And for my money, I think he is still one of the most fun guys at lightweight. He's clearly killed, had a tremendous knockout in his last fight, had a fun fight with Thiago Moises before that, knocked out Chris Gritzmacher, war with Drew Dober. I mean, he's one of the most entertaining guys at lightweight in my opinion. Taking on Renato Moicano, moved up to lightweight, but before that, he was like a former featherweight title challenger. Like, he fought the top 5, damn near. If he beat Jose Aldo, he would have gotten a title shot. Same thing for Brian Ortega. So, like, he's one of the greatest guys, like, unranked at lightweight. Dude, Alexander Hernandez talked about earlier this week about how, he's right, they're the 4th fight up from the card, about how bullshit it is that he's fighting on the early prelims. He said it was, quote, fucking disrespectful. Angel, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I think those guys are such high-level guys that they should be honoring the card, man. It should at least be maybe even the last fight on the prelims.
Mm-hmm.
You know? They should be right up there with Arlovsky and them, you know what I mean? It's weird, man. Like I said, I personally think Kyler Phillips and his opponent shouldn't be on the main card. No disrespect to them, but I do think there's other guys below who I think you could even make a better case for Arlovsky on the main card, Josh. Not even gonna lie to you. Like, no hate. That's legitimately what I just think. No, I definitely agree.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, I completely agree. I think this...
And it's such a good matchup. I'm sorry to cut you off, but it really is such a good fight.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is going to be a banger. I think there's a very real possibility this is the fight of the night, dude. Like I said, Alexander Hernandez is one of the most watched fighters in the division. If you look at his UFC career, which is only 7 fights, he's had a performance of the night in 2 of those, 2 performances of the night and 1 fight of the night. And some of those other fights that didn't win awards, like the Drew Dober fight was a fucking war. Like, similar fight with Trinaldo, that was a very fun fight. Same for Olivier Aubameyang. He's had some awesome fights, dude. And, Renato Moicano is a guy that, former featherweight contender, and he's moved up to lightweight, and yeah, he is 2-1, but I think that's kind of like, I mean, he fought Rafael Faziev, like that was one, like,
yeah, he's fighting RDA.
Yeah. Yeah. So he's one of the top guys in the division. This is a terrible placement, dude. For them to be below and I love William Knight, but for them to be below William Knight is mind-blowing. Mm-hmm. So this card, I completely agree with them, and, it's insane to me. It's insane to me. But I saw that, who was it? It was, Cub Swanson, who came out and said, like, yeah, you know what, I've been there. I had to fight in the Fight Pass prelims a couple of times or two, but you gotta give him a reason to not put you back on there. So, and you made a good point. So I think Hernandez is gonna go out and potentially give a hell of a performance. I think it's gonna be a very, very fun fight. I think it has the capacity to be fight of the night. These two dudes are very, very good. Lightweight is just a stacked division. That's why neither one of them are ranked. And I could see either one of them being ranked after this fight, honestly. So yeah, man, overall, very, very fun fight. Terrible that it's not, on the main card, or even not on the main card, but even higher up on the prelims. For them to be on the early prelims, bro, like, they're below Limana Martinez versus Ronnie Lawrence. Like, and Alex Hernandez is he's the only other Texan on the card. So wow. I don't even know what to say, dude. I don't even know what to say in regards to that. But
Texas
yeah,
is
man.
pissed right now.
Yeah, he's pissed. As far as the card goes, is there anything else we talk about before we go ahead and move on to our next topic?
I mean, we got to talk about the other 2 Kiwis on this card, Josh. I don't know. I think they're the only other 2. Carlos Oberg and Blood Diamond, Josh. Have you heard about Blood Diamond?
I've heard about Blood Diamond, yeah.
I don't know what to expect from him. I'm hearing a lot of people think he's going to get blown out, but at the same time, Izzy said that Eugene Behrman said that at this point in Blood Diamond's career, he is farther ahead than what Izzy was at this point, which is kind of like, okay, whatever that point may be, I don't know, but I'm interested. And then also they're giving Carlos Oberg a good matchup to come back. Obviously, he disappointed last time out against Canadian Njoku because he was looking good in that early round, man. He just blew his wad. It was like me with all my relations. No, I was kidding. Yeah, no, it was a bad look, man. It was a bad look because I felt like he should have won that one. He just let it all out of the tank and didn't win. And poor Fabio Chiarot, man. I mean, they didn't do him a favor in this one either. Alonzo Menefield, William Knight, Carlos Oberg. I mean, that's a tough out for anybody. And shout out my boy AJ Dotson, man. He's getting his big shot after winning on the Contender Series, so I'm really excited for him.
Mm-hmm. In regards to Blood Diamond, I was hype on him as a prospect, and I saw some of his kickboxing fights. I was hype on him as a prospect until I remember that he's going to be 34 years old. Like he's about to turn 34. This seems more to me like I can't remember his name, kickboxer. This seems to me like a Gokhan Saki situation. Like where they're going to throw him in there, probably going to give him some fun fights, but like there's a clear level where he's at. And
just you wait, Josh. Just you wait. Michel Pereira will show the world that that's not the case. He's going to fight Israel Adesanya for the title, and you'll see, Josh.
Michel Pereira though. Michel Pereira has been fighting MMA for a decade. He just didn't take it serious.
No. You're right. But like a few fights, like 5 years apart. Same place for Blood Diamond though. I don't know if you looked, but he has fought in MMA. He has 3 fights, but they're like 4 years apart. He fought in 2017, and then he fought in 2018, and then he didn't fight again until 2020, and then he's taken 2 years off, and he's going to fight in 2022 in the UFC. Jeremiah Wells is a good fighter, so.
Oh yeah.
I mean, granted, anybody in the UFC is good, but it's still kind of like, I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Jeremiah Wells is coming off a nice one. I mean, he knocked out Warley Alves, bro. Warley Alves is a bad man, you know? Oh, yeah. So we'll see what happens, but I'm not holding my breath. That's just my opinion.
That's a card opener, man. I mean, at least I feel like there's stories in every fight a little bit. Like there's sort of some, you know, now that I've gone to look at the whole picture of the card, we kind of went through it. There's a little bit of story in each fight. I think you can kind of get invested into the whole card now that I'm looking at it more. So it's going to be a different perspective on it. Marco Madsen was supposed to be on this originally. I'm kind of heartbroken about that. That got rescheduled.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely there's storylines in every single fight, which I think is the good thing. Because sometimes you have these cards where it's like, they'll may be fun, but there's not a story there, or sometimes it's structured terribly, but even, like, I'm genuinely interested in the vast majority of these fights, even if it's not like a fight that I'm, like, super high on. Like, for example, Jeremiah Wells versus, you know, Blood Diamond should be a fun fight, but there's also the storyline of, like, oh, you know, winner of this can move on, and, you know, Blood Diamond's career moving forward, and Jeremiah Wells, is he a super high prospect or not? Like, there's storylines and everything. So yeah, we'll go ahead and we'll keep an eye on that. We'll keep an eye on the rest of this, honestly, the entirety of this card. It's going to be a very, very fun one, dude. Very, very fun. Can't wait to hang out with you on this one. Yeah, man, going to be a very, very fun card. Overall though, dude, as far as MMA goes, it's pretty much all we had, but there is some boxing news. And feel inclined to honestly talk about it because it's extremely, extremely big news. Canelo Alvarez, obviously, at this point, well-established pound for pound number one. Not exactly sure you could put over him, honestly. I believe he's the current unified super middleweight champion. Obviously, he's been absent out of the ring since he knocked out Caleb Plant. And that was a hell of a fight. And he's going to be returning to the ring in May. Now, for a while there, it looked like he was going to fight Ilanga Makabu. But then Makabu had a mandatory come up. And he just fought last week or something, or 2 weeks ago. And it was a split decision fight, and I don't blame them for kind of moving on, because I don't think after that fight there's not much interest, and it'd be a quick turnaround, you know, yada, yada, yada. So then it looked like he might fight Jermall Charlo, obviously the undefeated one, current, I believe WBC middleweight champ. And then they kind of moved on from that one. Apparently he's going to get $40 million from, PBC to fight him on a 1-fight deal. Apparently they're at the 11th hour in contracts with Eddie Hearn for a 2-fight deal for $85 million. In May, he would fight Dimitri Bivol, who I believe is the WBA light heavyweight champion. And then in September, I believe this would be, funnily enough, the third time they fought in September. Every single time they fought nearly the same date. September 17th, he would fight Gennady Golovkin, the trilogy fight. Obviously, Gennady won the first fight. Canelo won the second. No, I don't give a shit about judging. If you're a live human being with eyes, you saw that Gennady won the first fight. That's the worst decision in boxing history. I'll stay off of it for the rest of the segment. However, it'll be the trilogy fight between those two. Angel, what are your thoughts on it? Obviously, I know there's kind of 3 different fights out there. Will it be Makabu in May? Will it be Jamal in May? Will it be Bivol in May and then Gennady in September? What are your thoughts on the 3 deals? What do you personally want to see next for Canelo?
I don't know, bro, but I'm holding my fucking breath on fucking Twitter right now because Woj is dropping bombs.
Really?
Yeah. Big ass trades going down. We're not going to get into them now. We'll talk about them off air, just you and me. But, Dude, no, I mean, nothing's official yet, right? Obviously, everything's kind of in the air right now. There's a lot of talks, though. I mean, I don't know, Josh. Do you think by this weekend we'll kind of know what Canelo's going to do? Do you think we'll probably take the rest of the month to find out?
I think we'll know by this time next week.
You think we'll know by this time this week? I mean, we'll see. Look, all options interest me in a certain way. Regardless, I want to see Canelo fight in May. You know what I mean? Like Cinco de Mayo, we know the vibes. Like I told you, Josh, if he does fight 3 times, the 2 times in this year, or does the 3 fights that I said, or I forgot exactly how I laid it out, that would have to be one of the greatest years for a boxer ever.
For sure.
I don't know exactly what he's going to do. I don't know exactly what his plans are. Obviously, he's kind of, I've seen he's kind of enjoying life. He's doing stuff with golf. He's with his wife. He's with his kids. It was his kid's birthday. His daughter he has with the woman he just married. So, he's gone on vacation. So he's enjoying a bit of everything. Obviously staying very focused on his craft. Obviously being a professional athlete is a very, hard job, and it takes up a lot of your time, and especially in the fight game, man, where you go away from your family for sometimes months and months on end, and obviously they have to deal with the stress of, seeing you eat a different diet, you be dehydrated, obviously, and then the night of where you have to fight. And he's been so active, dude, in the last 2 years. Fuck, has it been maybe even 3 years at this point? I don't even know anymore, man. That maybe he's going to take a step back, maybe want to do only 1 fight this year. I don't know if he's going to do 1 fight early in the year, 1 fight at the end of the year. The thing is, all the options interest me in some capacity. I don't think there's a single bad option.
Yeah, man, I do agree. I don't think there's any real bad option for Canelo, at least at this point in his career. Obviously, the Makabu fight, that fight would have been more anticipated had he actually looked good in his mandatory and had he not actually fought the mandatory to begin with. But even the prospect of Canelo going up to, obviously, 200 pounds would be pretty interesting. The Charlo fight would be interesting, but I feel like, obviously, the clear one here is the Bivol fight going up to light heavyweight, facing one of the top 175ers on the planet, and then obviously the Gennady trilogy. I mean, look, dude, obviously I wish that fight would have happened back in 2018, 2019. I think Gennady was already out of his prime at the time they fought the second time. I truly think that. I think he probably capped out around that first fight, but regardless, he's going to be 40 if it does happen. He has to obviously get through Hiroita Murata by then, but regardless, man, obviously there is no bad option for Canelo, at least in this point in his career. I liked all those fights. Personally, I hope he does the Bivol and Gennady trilogy. That's the one that interests me the most, but like you said, there's no real wrong option here. Yeah, dude, honestly, that's all my opinions on it. I hope you guys actually did enjoy this episode. As always, I'm at Josh Evanoff on Twitter. He's at AngelOrtega_01, at Courtside Sound1 for all the things relating to the show itself. Hope you guys liked. Peace and bye, Grease. Mouse click.